Mangrove forest plays a vital role in the ecosystems of Hong Kong and the Pearl River Estuary. Their complex structure provides favorable habitats for various organisms. The Marine Ecology Enhancement Fund, established by Airport Authority Hong Kong, has funded a research team from the Chinese University of Hong Kong in their study of mangrove forests. The research team used an original research approach by combining the use of photogrammetry and 3D printing technology to create mangrove models, to study the ecological value of peri-urban small-scale mangrove forests in the Pearl River Estuary, in particular as habitats for juvenile prey fish. The researchers said the fragmentation of the mangrove forests and loss of large predators in the Pearl River Estuary have been worsening. As a result, predation events in nature have become rare phenomena in the region. The effectiveness of conventional field trips has become far from ideal.
Mangrove forests are not the easiest places to do work in. For example, they have usually rather murky waters, and also the soft mud would make the transportation of heavy equipment and delicate equipment items very difficult. You have to wait for a long time in a mangrove forest for something to happen. Well, by chance, it is actually very unlikely.
In the past, some researchers chopped off parts of the roots in the mangrove trees and brought them back to the research center for observation and experiments. However, this practice would cause permanent damage to the mangrove. The Chinese University research team came up with a new research approach. The team took a large number of photos of the mangrove trees at the site and used the photos to reconstruct 3D digital models with computer software. Actual physical mangrove models were then replicated by 3D printing with high accuracy and were installed in the laboratory's experiment tanks for observation and experiments. The research team studied mangroves in different areas in Hong Kong by using 3 replica mangrove models of different structural intensity and complexity. The replica were put inside the mangrove tanks in the laboratory to mimic the mangrove habitat, aiming to study predatory behaviors and survival rate of common fish in mangroves.
The degree of accuracy of our model is about 95% of the actual thing. If you do the replicate mangrove forest in the laboratory and put the fish inside an environment with this replica, then you can observe the interactions at ease at any time.
Researchers installed underwater cameras inside the tanks to record and study the activities of the fish around different mangrove structures and at different depths. The footages recorded are invaluable for the research. For example, this footage captured how a juvenile prey fish hid itself in the mangrove roots and escaped from the predators. On the other side, another juvenile prey fish was eaten by a predator as it swam away from the mangrove roots. Based on the footages, the researchers concluded that the more complex the mangrove structure, the higher the survival rate of juvenile prey fish. The researchers have also observed different predatory behaviors of the fish and varying activity patterns of juvenile prey fish at different depths. It would be difficult to obtain such valuable information from field trips. The findings are conducive to in-depth study of the predator-prey relationship in mangrove forests and highlight the contribution of mangrove forests in the Pearl River Estuary to fishery resources, helping the formulation of relevant conservation measures.